All of these things can then lead to an argument. What's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? And at this point, it all escalates. All that is going through your head at this point is how much of an unnecessary response that was. Saying the things we have been ruminating about, asking the questions that are pressing on your mind, or just to have some affectionate moments. Remember the time you told me I was talking nonsense when I tried to tell you how I feel? I want to share 5 changes how we can be better if they do come up. Welcome back to Real People, Real Talk. My name is Bobby, and this is episode 3. I hope you watched the last video, and if you haven't, please check it out. This is a new topic that we're delving into today, and I need to start off by saying I'm not an expert, just a real husband in the real world, sharing my thoughts, opinions, and things that I've learned. I've been married for 7 years, been together with my wife for around 9. Over that period of time, we naturally have had our ups and downs and our fair share of conversations. Like any other couple, we have also had differences in opinions and disagreements. From our own experience and from what we see and hear, it appears that when the subject of these disagreements is the kids, the household, or something that has happened around us, we seem to be able to discuss them more calmly and rationally. Yet, when there seems to be a difference in opinion about something that involves either party within that partnership, it becomes a lot harder to stay calm and collected. It's in those instances you seem to get the most arguments within a relationship. Reflecting on times like these has made me realize that there's definitely things that we can do as individuals to ensure that passionate conversations are the best that they can be. It is perfectly normal to not see eye to eye all of the time. But that does not mean that it always needs to end up in somebody being upset or feel like they have not been heard by the end of it. In my opinion, your husband or wife is the closest person to you. They most likely spend the most time with you and are around when you're at your highest and also when sometimes you may be at your lowest. They are your partner in life and generally want to be involved in whatever may be happening. They share your happiness and your sorrows. However, when we argue, all of this seems to go out the window. We call things out in a tone that is not productive, get heated and share things that could benefit the relationship, but do this in the wrong manner at the wrong time, and sometimes even say things that hurt, just to feel like we won that round of the argument. To start talking about some of the things we can change as partners to potentially get better at communicating while in an argument, and also help reduce the need of having them, we first need to look at some examples of where we may be getting this wrong in the moment. I have seen and heard a number of different reasons for why things may escalate, but some common ones include you or your partner not actually talking about what might be bothering you at all, never really bringing it up, and wanting to just ignore the feeling and what's happened. When asked, they will most likely say that everything is fine, even though you can hear a change in their tone which appears like proof that something must be up. Let's call this the personal bunker concept. You or your partner bringing up something that was discussed in a previous argument or discussion whenever something new comes up, never really moving past that issue and struggling to let it go. I'll call this the back to the future concept. The understanding that you and your partner have around expectations within the relationship. What I mean by this is that there may be certain things that you or your partner believe the other should do or say in a specific scenario. This is usually inspired by what they believe they would do, and when you don't act in the same way, it may cause annoyance. This is the expectations imbalance. The last one that I think is most common for pushing a couple towards having an argument is around time and attention. Life is busy. Add to it work commitments, children, pets, the admin around the household, and personal time for hobbies and interests, and you may feel like you are left with a limited time and attention. When you or your partner feel that you are not receiving enough time with each other, or not receiving the right amount of attention when it really matters, it can cause heightened emotions and a change in behavior that potentially will not end up in an argument. Probably about something completely unrelated because you or your partner may not be comfortable to bring up the real reason. This is a time and attention deficit. I don't believe this is an expansive list. I am sure everyone that is watching this video will be able to come up with more examples of what creates the need of an argument in your own relationships. However, I feel that the ones that I mentioned are some that I have seen and heard of most often. Let's go through these concepts of argument creators and see how they might make someone feel in the moment, and also why you or your partner may be using them. The personal bunker. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. locking everything into your own personal space that is built so robustly that there is no harm from external threats. What's inside stays safe, and what's outside stays there. You become insular, and from outside looking into your own personal bunker, you cannot physically see what's happening. Whilst you may say you're fine, inside you still have to deal with what has upset or angered you. This generally will show up in your mood, the way you talk, or the way you behave. You may snap a little quicker, your partner's habits may annoy you more than normal, or you just become a lot less talkative. Either way, your husband or wife will naturally pick up on the change in your demeanor and want to know what's happened. They are most likely thinking that whatever is up was caused by them. At some point, this will escalate into an argument because your partner either asks more directly or says something that you no longer want to tolerate. Either, "What the hell is up with you?" or "Why are you so moody?" Now, you're pretty much ready to let some things go flying off your chest, and it can be pretty overwhelming to the other person at that point because they just did not see it coming. However, if you are the type to still not say anything and just leave it within that personal bunker, then most likely, when you have dealt with it internally, you will just go back to normal until the next time. A little bit like lazy tidying, where all of the clutter just gets shoved into a cupboard so it's out of sight. Back to the future. This is us simply not letting go of past issues. Whenever a new one comes up, we bring up one or more old ones as well to support with our arguing power. We may use this one to one-up our partner or as more ammunition to try and make a point. We continue to call our partner out with these things that are long in the past and create an unhealthy loop of arguing about the same thing. At least I didn't stop the conversation like you did 2 months ago. Or, remember the time you told me I was talking nonsense when I tried to tell you how I feel? What we need to consider is that our partners would have wanted to learn from the last time. Therefore, following the argument, they would have told themselves that they don't want to be in that situation again. Bringing it up now is only going to add more fuel to the fire. The expectations imbalance. Here, I'm talking about things that we may expect from our partners, generally based on our belief of what we do in a given scenario. For instance, you are upset because you have broken your favorite pair of glasses. You are thinking about the fact that it's going to cost money to fix them. This has annoyed you. Your partner says, "Oh well, at least you have a spare pair you can wear." All that is going through your head at this point is how much of an unnecessary response that was. You make that clear and your partner says that they were just trying to help. After going back and forth for a moment, someone ends up saying, "You always do this." And at this point, it all escalates. Another example for you. You've had a challenging day at work. Things did not go to plan, and you're not feeling very happy about the day at all. You just want it to be over and get away from the environment that has upset you. As you come home, you would have thought that your partner would pick up on the difference in aura around you and just ask you about the day so that you can offload some of that stress. But it's a busy day. The kids need tending to, and you agreed to go and do the weekly shop on that evening. Later, when the kids have gone to bed, you are more annoyed because you still did not get asked a simple, "Is everything okay? You don't seem yourself." This feels like injustice, and you need to make it clear, so you shorten your answers and increase nonverbal responses. Your partner decides to deal with that by saying, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way?" Now you're ready to blow up, and the rest is inevitable. The argument that follows, however, is most likely not really going to dive into why you felt the way you felt at work, and will be more around the fact that you don't feel like your partner cares. Time and attention deficit. These seem like they're similar, but can be very different. Time with your partner really means time alone with your partner. Maybe a date night, the time you have together after the kids have gone to sleep, or maybe something as simple as a short 5 to 10 minute drive somewhere where it is just the two of you. If you don't have kids, then this is the time where you are not doing something that would hinder you from discussing matters that affect each other or the relationship. For instance, going to the cinema or to watch a concert would be fun, but during those activities, you won't be able to have a conversation if needs be. Time is limited. We already have to split the time that we have available between multiple things. Talking about managing time is for another video. Let me know if you would like to see that. I would happily give you my thoughts. Time with your partner, however, is for saying the things we have been ruminating about, asking the questions that are pressing on your mind, or just to have some affectionate moments. We may just feel like being close. If you or your partner feel like you want some of that time, but have not been able to get it, you will most likely start to feel an emotional imbalance within yourself. At this point, you are more likely to be annoyed by things. You'll be more likely to snap, and you'll also be more likely not to tolerate things, mutter under your breath, and find reasons to have a little moan. All of these things can then lead to an argument. Attention is slightly different because you may have some time together, but whilst being in that moment, you may not be able to give your partner the attention they require. This could be because you're looking at something on your phone, maybe preparing dinner, or just doing something else that is taking up your concentration. At this point, if your partner is waiting to tell you something that they deem important, but you're not fully present, it might cause annoyance and upset. If your partner has waited for the perfect moment to share something, they will most likely want to feel that you are in the perfect state to receive that information. Another way that attention can cause you and your partner to argue is in the day-to-day of your relationship. When we speak to our partners, we want them to be interested and invested in the things that we're talking about. Generally, whatever you or your partner would like to discuss will have an effect on the other. During these conversations, if it feels as though you or your partner are not interested in what is being discussed, due to not paying attention fully, this may lead to a statement like, "I won't talk about this next time if you're not really interested," or "I know for the future not to bring this up with you." I've tried to categorize some of the most common reasons from what I have seen and heard as to why a couple may be pushed towards having an argument. I would like to break these down with you and look at why they affect us and our partners. I think that if you're lucky enough to be in a relationship with a partner that cares about you and wants the best for you, then it probably is in your best interest not to have a personal bunker. If that means that some self-work needs to be done in order to be more comfortable to share things, then that is an important change to make. This may require for you both to work together, to ask for help and provide support wherever required. One may require help to make the other feel more comfortable to talk about something, whilst the other may need help to open up. In my opinion, this can be achieved by changing the questions you ask and how you ask them. How does that make you feel is a great question during those times, because it allows for your partner to talk about how they're impacted emotionally rather than just telling you what's happened. It is also important to sit back and listen. Allow your partner the freedom to just talk. Avoid trying to provide solutions at every opportunity. You won't know what has already been considered. And telling someone about solutions they have already thought about will not help in the moment at all. Your partner might just want you to understand how they feel and sit in the mud with them rather than looking for solutions to a problem. They may just want some empathy from you. What can I do to help? Is also a very powerful question. You're not coming up with what you think is helpful, but asking specifically how to ease any pressure for your partner. The Back to the Future concept becomes a leading cause for escalated arguments if you do not fully address things that have happened. This may occur if you're frequently avoiding to talk about instances where your partner may have annoyed you a little and just hope that it will all be back to normal soon. It can also occur if you do not fully discuss the matter. If you do not get the opportunity to talk about how it has made you feel and how you both think it could be better the next time. You or your partner may feel inclined to say, "You always do this," or "You never help with this." Statements including never and always can indicate that it's something that has bothered you for a long time. It comes across as though you're pointing a finger of blame in a situation where emotions are already ablaze. This just amplifies the fire. To avoid always and never, it is best to discuss any issue as and when it comes up. Talk about it fully, hearing each other out. A good practice is to make sure your partner has finished saying their piece and then repeating back what you believe they said. Then not moving on from that point until you are both happy that what you have understood was what they were trying to say. Then end the discussion after you've established what is required from both of you to ensure you will not make each other feel that way again. This may not always be possible because there are some things that will be difficult to amend straight away. But in those scenarios, you either ask for help to be better at what's being asked of you or offer help with whatever you are asking for in order to have a better relationship. I love the practice of never going to bed angry, meaning anything that comes up in a day gets dealt with the same day. The expectations imbalance. Well, life has changed significantly. For a long time, even dating back to the days in the cave, we've had a tribe or a community around us. Back then, we would rely on different members of the tribe for different things. The village supported the everyday actions that needed to happen. Fast forward to today, and we are much more isolated to just our families. And in many cases nowadays, it may just be the family unit of your partner, you, and your children. As such, we do rely on our partners for a lot more than what we used to. The most important change to fix the expectations imbalance, in my opinion, is communicating what is needed or expected. If all the cards are on the table, there is no imbalance. If you had a bad day at work, then let your partner know. There is no value in hoping they will notice. You may be setting them up to fail. Allow your partner the opportunity to decide whether it is the right time to talk or whether you should wait to discuss it properly later when they are in a position to give you all of their attention. They could say, "I'm sorry to hear it was a bad day. I really want to talk about it, but we just need to sort out the kids and also get the shopping done. Can it wait till after?" The simple acknowledgement and promise of a later discussion may soothe some of the feelings you have felt. And if not, you can let your partner know. In this exchange, there is no hidden expectations. This will help you both to not get to a point where an argument feels necessary. Time and attention deficit. This is really about being present for your partner, whether it is physically with your time or emotionally distraction-free with your attention. Time has to be created. You and your partner may find yourselves in a position where you believe just being together in a particular setting is enough to say you spend time together. But many scenarios and settings may not allow you to talk freely or get to a point where you're comfortable to share things. You want the attention too. When discussing something that is affecting you or the relationship, you will want to feel as though both parties are ready to give and receive information without being distracted. Eye contact is huge. Check understanding, and if you manage to get to the stage where you and your partner can agree to let each other talk, repeat what one has said and only move on once it is clear, even better. In this day and age, we are so easily distracted by what's going on around us, partly because the things that we are looking at are working hard to keep us looking. Don't forget what's most important. Put aside distraction-free time with your partner whenever you can. Whatever happens, you'll be able to find at least 10 minutes a day to have those important conversations. If you fail to do this, you will most likely end up in more arguments because you or your partner will let the feelings they have take over and never have the chance to discuss them. The next time you have an argument about something completely unrelated, you'll find that these feelings come back up with a higher intensity. I want to share 5 changes that we can make to avoid these concepts, but also consider how we can be better if they do come up. Let your partner into the bunker. If for any reason you feel as though it is pointless sharing what you're going through because you don't normally get the support you need, then help your partner to be better. I'm quite certain that they will be trying to already. You may feel like you have always been this way, a lone wolf, able to deal with whatever life throws at you. It is something you're used to. Well, you no longer need to be. You have a pack now, and the pack wants to be there for you. They may just need to know how you like to be supported. If you need to get something off your chest, set the scene. Tell your partner that you want to discuss something important and allocate distraction-free time. Set your partner up to succeed as they make their way into your personal bunker. Most importantly, ask for support. I could really do with some help. There's something that's bothering me, but not sure how to voice it in the right way. You will find your partner will be more inclined to listen rather than feeling like they need to put the defenses up that they would have done if you would have said, "We need to talk." Make sure to fully discuss anything that has caused a problem within your relationship. Don't be a lazy tidier. We have all seen what happens when you open the cupboard door that you have hidden your clutter in. It all falls out again. By you and your partner utilizing the practice of repeating what one said and not moving on from that point until you both agree that it has landed, you will allow for everyone to be heard. This then ensures that you have all the relevant information to decide what the best way forward will be. And if for any reason you are so used to the Back to the Future concept that you find yourself trying to recall an instance you can bring up again, suppress the urge. Tell yourself that chapter has been completed. Having said that, if something is still bothering you, you make sure to address it at a time where emotions are stable and you can present to your partner what you think the best course of action is. It is better to propose a solution that is balanced than just pointing out the mistakes that have been made. Number 3, Be very clear with what your expectations may be. Be vocal about the help you may require. We need to stop assuming that our partner knows. However much we would want them to, they cannot read our minds. On the other hand, make yourself available so that your partner opens up about what they might expect from you in a specific scenario. You also need to be very clear if the expectation is unrealistic for you, and put yourself in a state to discuss and accept an alternative way to assist in that moment. I also believe that it's best to never expect your partner to make you happy when you may be feeling sad. Your partner can be there for you, listen and acknowledge, and even help come up with a solution if that's what you need. However, how long you stay unhappy is really up to you. And before coming to that conversation, you may need to work hard to keep an open mind rather than let those feelings take over. Remember, the conversation is supposed to help, and having it without becoming emotional will set each other up for success. There is no value in two people being emotional and trying to win the fight of who is hurt more. Number 4, work hard on being present. Read the room. Sometimes you and your partner can just chill, watch TV together, or even be on your own phones and catch up on things you want to. However, when you or your partner makes it clear that they need to talk about something, put everything else aside to be in the moment. My wife started a conversation with me the other day, and I started to have it while looking over the top of my laptop, before quickly realizing what I was doing and shutting the laptop to be able to look her in the face. Your actions will speak volumes for your intentions of wanting to give all of your attention. It is the same for whatever you may be doing. Sometimes you'll have to take action to ensure there's no distractions. For instance, if your children are occupying themselves by play fighting, it will probably not be the best time to have a conversation, simply because we all know that it's going to end up with one of them getting hurt, and therefore you will constantly want to look over at them. To ensure you and your partner have the time you need to discuss whatever may be important, make sure to allocate at least 10 to 15 minutes per day. Sometimes you can carve out more, but try not to make it less. Don't skip this time. Don't allow it to become one of those things that you put off until tomorrow. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow never comes, and today is all we have. Say the things you want to say, but remember, be kind with it. Your tone is just as important as the words you're saying. Whatever has happened, try to find the most generous interpretation of why your partner may have done or said it. For instance, your partner came home from work and snapped at you for not washing up. The most generous interpretation might be that they did not want to waste any time washing up when they got home because they wanted to get everything done quickly so that you could have more time together. Lastly, if there's something important to say, don't use the time you have together to find out what's for dinner. Deal with that beforehand. Either do that over a text message while you're not together, or just let one of you make a decision and make the dinner without having to consult each other. These are just some ways that I think we can address the concepts discussed in this video. They have certainly helped me to reduce arguments with my wife, but more importantly, they have allowed us to have better discussions that end in actionable outcomes. I will leave you with 2 pieces of wisdom that I always think about whenever it gets to an argument time. Arguments happen because we have triggered our flight or fight response. We have sensed the danger and now need to respond. We cannot flee. That will make things worse. Yet, we always lose if we fight back. Therefore, make sure you can get yourself in a state where you are not in fight or flight mode. There is no saber-toothed tiger. Tell your partner you need just one moment before this conversation so that you can go and take some deep breaths, come back and tackle the problem together. A lot of times nowadays, couples can feel as though they don't have enough time to feel close to each other. It's understandable. So many things to do. Work, children, extracurricular activities, household duties, thinking about what's for dinner, and the list goes on. Add to that all of the distractions with 100 engineers in the background working hard to keep you hooked on your device. Having some time set aside for you and your partner just to talk about what's going on in your life is a form of intimacy, something that you don't get with everybody else. Cherish that time and use it wisely. As always, I hope this video has provoked some thoughts for those of you who have watched and listened. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments about how you deal with discussions and disagreements in your relationships, and also how you are all making sure to get better at having those conversations. Thank you for watching, and please like, comment, and subscribe to help this video reach more people that could benefit from hearing this. My name is Bobby. This is Real People, Real Talk. Hope to see you soon.